Hey guys, good morning. I am here today to talk to you guys about 3 causes of back pain that you probably didn't know. I'm gonna give people just a couple seconds, maybe a minute to jump in. Meanwhile, I'm gonna grab a cup of water, but hang out for just a moment as we get people rolling into the live, and then we are gonna dive into 3 causes of back pain that hopefully I can teach you some ways to alleviate today. Awesome. All right, I'm gonna grab some water. Alrighty, so we're just gonna dive on in. And the cool thing about today's topic is that they are all very much related to the pelvis. So everything that we're going to talk about today kind of comes back to the pelvis, the hips. So when I'm referring to back pain, just to clarify, I'm talking mostly about lower back pain. So today we're going to focus on, let's make sure you can see me, this region of the back, your lovely lumbar spine. And the interesting thing about lower back pain is very often the cause is not coming from your lower back. So there are a plethora of different reasons why your lower back may be aching that actually have nothing to do with your lumbar spine. Albeit, I will caveat that by saying, people with herniated discs, slip discs, stuff like that, that is definitely very much a lower back issue, but even those symptoms can be alleviated by some of the things that I'm going to teach you today. So the first thing we're going to talk about, I've just got some notes here that I'm looking at, don't mind me, is a rotated pelvis as a cause for lower back pain. So let's just dive in really quick to what your pelvis actually is. Pelvis is this section of your body right here, your hips, your pelvic girdle, if you will, that big bony thing that basically attaches your upper body to your lower body. And for anyone who may not be aware, yes, men do have pelvises too. I have had that question before. Both men and women, males and females, have pelvises. And functionally, they pretty much all work the same way. And so this whole conversation is going to definitely apply to everyone who jumps in here. So the rotated pelvis is a tricky one because basically what happens is your pelvis will start to hitch backward or hitch forward. And a really good way to identify this is if we find what we call the bony landmarks of your hips. So the bony landmarks are exactly what they sound like. You find those 2 big bones that protrude out the front of your hips. These are called your ASIS. Back here, you find those 2 bones that kind of feel like domino dots, those circular ones. And those are called your PSIS, so we have posterior and anterior, front and back. What you want to do when you have your fingertips and thumbs on each of these bones is to make sure that your fingers and thumbs are aligned. Now, if you have an anterior pelvic tilt, your pelvis is tilting towards the front, your butt will kind of start to stick out like this. And what happens is that's going to shorten all the muscles in the lower back, it's going to lengthen all the muscles in your core so you kind of spill out here, and it tends to cause quite a bit of discomfort here in this lower back section. If you've got a posterior pelvic tilt, which is this one right here, where your index fingers come higher than your thumbs, then that's going to elongate everything here. Your glutes are typically going to be pretty tight. The hip flexors will be pretty tight, and you just get this kind of awkward angle down at your lower back where it actually gets too flat. So in an ideal world, we want to make sure that your fingertips and your thumbs are at this nice level position, everything's even, so you're not anteriorly and posteriorly, that's a hard word today, tilted. Now, if you find that you are, one really interesting way to get out of this tilt, out of this rotation, is a very simple little alignment trick. And all you're going to need for it is something like a yoga block, a book, just something kind of thick that you can pop in between your knees. I also like to do this movement with a dowel, which you can substitute with a broomstick or anything like that. I'm going to use this. If you don't have a broomstick or anything available to you at home, don't worry about it. You can also do this with your hands. I'm going to show you how to do it right now. So we're going to start laying flat on our back. And like I said, if you don't have a broomstick or a dowel, you're going to pop your right hand on top of your thigh. You're going to pop your left hand around the back of your hamstring, and it becomes very important now that you stay at this 90-degree angle of the hips and knees. You don't want to be shifting out of alignment here. I'm going to do this with my dowel just because it feels a little bit better for me. Now, you're going to press your right knee towards your face. You're going to press your left foot away from your body, and you're going to hold that for 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Let's go again. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. And again, 3 more. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. And really give it a good amount of force here. Exhale, 4, 3, push the left foot, pull the right foot, relax. And last one, exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, so we did that 5 times on that side. Now you're gonna switch. So you keep the knees. If you're using your hands, now the left palm is going on top of the knee. Right hand is going underneath the hamstring. And you're gonna push and pull on the opposite sides now. So let's get ready. Ooh, just kidding, gotta switch. Exhale and push the left knee towards your face. Push the right foot away from you. And relax. And again, exhale. And relax. And again, exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. We'll do 2 more. We're going for a total of 5 here. I may have added 1. And relax. Let's go for last one. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Lower the feet down. Now is the time, if you've got your yoga block, your thick book, even like a rolled up towel would work. You're gonna pop it in between the knees. First, we're just gonna take an inhale and an exhale. Now, on your next exhale, squeeze the knees together as hard as you can. And one more time. Beautiful job, guys. Alrighty. So that is a really great way to help realign the pelvis. Some of you guys, when you were doing that inner thigh press, you may have gotten little clicks down in your pelvic region, like right at your groin. That is very normal. That's a sign of realignment. It's your pubic symphysis and your femurs all just kind of chilling out and realigning, coming back together. So if you felt that little click, don't freak out about it. If you didn't feel the little click, that's totally fine. It just meant you were nice and aligned already. So the next thing we're going to talk about as a cause of lower back pain are weak glutes. These ditties, weak butt muscles. So interestingly enough, your glute muscles are a major supporter of your lower back. If your glutes aren't strong enough, your lower back gets all out of sorts, makes all sorts of weird shapes. And once again, it comes back to that idea of a rotated pelvis. So if your glutes are too weak and they can't support your lower back, typically what's going to happen is your bum is going to start to stick out like that, or maybe it's going to start to round under. It really just kind of depends on your day-to-day activities, kind of depends on like if you're sitting all day, if you're maybe standing all day but not in good posture. So all of these different things are going to affect whether or not you've got weak glutes. Everyone, even if you don't have weak glutes, can benefit from these next few exercises. And the first one we're going to start with, looking at my lovely little notes here. The first one we're going to start with is one of my favorites. It's a glute bridge. So a glute bridge is a funny one because most people, you get on Instagram and you're like, oh God, these people are just doing some like beautiful glute bridges and they're all the way up here and it's like, holy hell. Well, this movement right here is all in my lower back. My butt is not doing a damn thing. So we are going to talk about the glute bridge just for a couple minutes to make it a really good glute and hamstring exercise. First things first, we want to make sure you're starting in a nice neutral position, which actually means you've got the teeniest bit of space underneath your lower back, just so much you could slide your hands under there. You pull your rib cage down to the floor, so your rib cage is flat on the floor. Let your arms press down by your sides, and we're going to do this movement in pieces. So first things first, feet are in line with the hips. Dig your heels down into the floor. Now press your lower back into the floor. And you feel that lovely little pelvic tuck we got going on. You lifted your tailbone just a teeny bit. Now lengthen back out again. Now we're going to take it a little bit higher. So pressing your lower back into the floor, dig your heels down. Try to lead with your tailbone. That very bottom part of your spine is picking up, 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 up. Let's just roll up halfway for this first one. Hold it there for a moment. Already start to feel these muscles in the fronts of your thighs lengthening out. And then let's roll back down one vertebrae at a time, piece by piece in your spine. Inhale to lengthen, so you put that little bit of space under your lower back again. And then let's go again. Exhale, we're going to take it a little higher. Roll up one vertebrae at a time. Pull your abs in so tight to your spine, it's like you're trying to be a flat piece of paper. Pick it up, 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 up. Hold it. Now, feel this movement connect into your glutes. Feel it connect into your hamstrings. Dig your entire feet down into the floor. And then we're going to roll back down one spinal vertebrae at a time. Lengthen out so you've got that little bit of space underneath your lower back. And then repeat. Press the lower back down. Dig your heels into the floor. Squeezing from your glutes. Lift the glutes. Then the spine peels up. Then the rest of your back comes up. Hold it. Now take a quick look on camera. See the difference between this and this. This is all lower back, rib cage popping. This is an extremely active position, so hopefully you guys are now feeling the difference. So that's a really, really fantastic glute bridge. Ooh, I haven't done any movement yet today, so that warmed up my glutes quite a bit. Now we're just going to do one tiny variation. Finding that neutral spine, pulling your core in really tight. You've got that teeny bit of space underneath your lower back, just enough to slide a dollar bill under there. Now, maintain that lovely long line shape of your spine as you dig your feet down and just lift your hips 6 inches. Hold it there. Take a quick peek at your knees. Make sure they're still parallel. They're not flapping out to the side. Use those inner thighs. And then lower your hips back down again. Now, if you did that correctly, you should still have that dollar bill amount of space underneath your lower back. Let's try again. Lift up, squeezing into those glutes. Dig the heels down, 6 inches up. Now lower the hips back down to the floor. Find that dollar bill worth of space underneath your lower back. Hell, let's make it $100. And push up. Find that $100 underneath your back. Last one. Really get deep into those glutes. And lower back down. Beautiful. All right. Let the knees rock out side to side. So those are two of my absolute favorite movements for building glute strength. And one of the reasons I like them even more than the squat is because they really do just isolate the glutes and hamstrings. These two major muscles in the backs of your legs that are so intertwined and connected to lower back health and strength that if you found those difficult, those are ones that you got to do every single day. So I encourage you to try them out. Let me know if they're getting easier, if they're getting harder. If you have questions, drop them in the comments because I will absolutely respond to them. I love talking about this kind of stuff. All right, last but not least, because we're coming up on our last couple minutes here, is talking about the pelvic floor muscles. Now, this is kind of a loaded discussion, and I'm going to come back on a live another day to like really dive deeper into the pelvic floor. But I basically just want to show you guys a couple of techniques to help strengthen the pelvic floor muscles. So your pelvic floor, again, guys have got it too. The pelvic floor is right here. It's this little triangle of space just above your groin and pretty much like just below the belly button, a couple inches below the belly button. And all of these muscles are responsible, again, for keeping the pelvis nice and level, for helping your lower back stabilize, for keeping the rest of your posture really beautifully aligned, because typically if you have a weak or inactive pelvic floor, it is very difficult for the rest of your spine to stack on itself accordingly. So, the Kegel, a very, very loaded exercise, a very hot topic, but a very important one. And so what I'm gonna do is teach you the Kegel in two different ways. If you struggle to sit up tall, I'm gonna encourage you guys to go find the wall. Just lean your back against the wall, because typically if your upper back is really struggling to stay upright, it's actually gonna affect your ability to tap into these pelvic floor muscles. So I'm just gonna find a nice comfy seated position. And I want you to think about your pelvic floor like a balloon. And as you inhale, you're gonna try to expand the pelvic floor like a balloon. Literally feel all of these muscles open up into the lower back, into your abdomen, and then exhale. Go ahead, pull everything in like the balloon is deflating. And let's repeat, inhale. Lift up, literally lift your spine just a little bit, lengthen, open up, expand that balloon, and then exhale, squeeze everything together, creating this lift up from the lower back. So that's a big element. You guys keep going, keep breathing. With this movement, it's not just about expanding out and in, it's about expanding up, and then pulling everything to the center line of your body. Let's go for two more. Big inhale into the pelvis. Expand the pelvis like a balloon. Exhale, zip and lift through the spine, lift through the pelvic floor like it's a little elevator lifting to the belly button. Inhale. And again, exhale, lift the pelvic floor, lift up to the belly button. And relax everything back down. Now, two quick things. One, if you were finding that you were squeezing your glutes a lot in that, next time you give it a go, I want you to try and just keep your glutes pretty relaxed. Like you're gonna feel those groin muscles, maybe a little like going on with the glutes, but you don't want this movement to be all about your bum, because that isn't your pelvic floor. So if you're squeezing your butt and not your pelvic floor, then the exercise isn't working. If you found that exercise really difficult to do, don't freak out about it. Kegels, pelvic floor activation, especially if it's weak or inactive, or it's just something that you haven't worked on before, it is extremely hard. And it is an extremely important part of your fitness routine, but it's very, very doable with just a little bit of practice. And so that's kind of where I'm gonna end the day today. Just touching on all three of these exercises, they're really designed to be effective over time. So that first one we did with the alignment of the pelvis, that may have given you some immediate relief in terms of lower back discomfort, like you may have been able to get up and be like, ooh, don't feel so bad anymore. The other two exercises, the glute bridges, the Kegels, the pelvic floor exercises, they really, really are designed to be effective over time. You do them 2 to 3 times a day for 10, 15 repetitions, and they really are gonna start to make a big difference. But you gotta think about these exercises like any other type of, fitness routine. It's not a quick fix. If you wanna build strength in any part of your body over the long term, you have to do it consistently. So I encourage you guys to try these out, 2, 3 times a day for 10 to 15 repetitions each. Let me know how they're feeling, and if you've got any comments, drop them. Any questions, feel free to drop them into the comments because I'll absolutely respond to them. Another thing I wanted to make sure to mention is that if you guys want to work on this more specifically with me, these are issues that we address in every single one of my live classes, particularly my Saturday 10 a.m. mat Pilates class. Pelvic health and lower back health is something I'm really passionate about. So with every class, we're always focusing on really good flows to make sure you're getting a good amount of strength, length, mobility work into the lower back and all the parts around it that are going to affect your lower back health. So if you are interested in working with me directly, please jump into my live classes because they're always a bunch of fun and it's just great to be able to work directly with you all. If the 10 a.m. class doesn't work for you because you've got things to do or maybe the time change, I also have a YouTube channel with 40 hours of classes, all of which are available to you. They range from like 5 minutes to 45 minutes. So I highly encourage you guys to check out the YouTube channel as well. Make sure you subscribe and like the videos so I know to keep pushing out content that is geared to what you want. But that is where I am gonna leave it today. This is the first of my live Thursdays at 11:30 a.m. I will be back next week with some other cool topics, and I'll make sure I start announcing them early into next week. So enjoy the rest of your week, guys. I will see you all later. Have a good day, and I will be back next week. Bye, guys.